So this little session is going to be just an eye opener about basics, very absolute basics of music. The guitar students might already know it. We're very close. We're very close. Well, you know chakras, right? Chakras. Like you have
sense.
no.
Aura.
These are energy centers. Okay, energy centers where you have you have the Muladhara, Manipura, Anahata. All these are Sanskrit words. Okay, now the heart chakra is called Anahata chakra. What is it called? Anahata chakra. It is believed that sound, Anahata is the place where the soul or the sound comes out. The soul of the universe comes out. Anahata means unstruck sound. Anahata means unstruck sound. So basically, sound is produced. That's why I said DM became very close to what I was trying to say. Music is nothing but string of sound, right? Arranged in a nice manner. So it is pleasing to your ears. Music is produced by two objects striking each other. Right? If you think about anything, think about guitar or think about wind instruments also. You blow the wind and you obstruct the passage of the wind, that is how the sound is produced. So basically one obstructing the other is how sound is produced. And we usually think music is the notes, right? Usually say music is the notes. But there is one small change. It's actually a flip. Music is not actually in the notes. Music is in the, who knows this? Music is in the huh? Anybody? Music is not actually in the sound, but in silence in between two sounds. You play one note. Play another note. These are just sounds. What makes it music? The distance between two notes. So this makes a pattern. What makes that pattern? The distance between two notes makes the pattern. So you have to understand that music is not actually the notes, but the silence in between. So it's very important that we observe that silence when we play. That's why rests are actually important. Rest, you know rest, right? Everybody knows rest. You come across rest. Rest. Joel, rest anyone? Rest is where you actually, when you play the guitar, you stop. Or when you play the piano, you just stop the sound. That's the beauty of music. It's not actually the notes, but the silence in between. Okay, now let's get to absolute basics. 7 notes, we say 7 natural notes. Joel, you tell me, what are the 7 notes? First comes first note. C. Let's say go. There comes D. There comes E, F, G, A, D. And just repeats. Yes?
Why is it not A, B, C, D, F, G? Why is it
Good question.
actually I memorized like that.
Like what?
A, B, C, D.
It is actually A, B, C, D, E, F, G only. But look at the pattern of the piano. See, piano is a very easy instrument to understand music. It's not that it's the best composing instrument. A composer can use any instrument for that matter. As a matter of fact, you guys know Beethoven, right? Beethoven is a very famous pianist, but he became deaf in later part of his years. So you guys know Beethoven's famous Fifth Symphony. When he composed Fifth Symphony, he was completely deaf. There is this beautiful incident that happened after performing the Fifth Symphony for the first time. It was a raging hit. It was a raging hit. And Beethoven was so unaware that the sea of audience were clapping after the performance. He just broke down and started crying after the performance because he was not able to hear all these appreciations. So the point I was trying to make is, what was the point I was trying to make? Why is it not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and C, D? It's actually A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But when you look at the piano, you know, right? The piano has 2 black notes, 3 black notes, 2 black notes, 3 black notes. The white note that is to the left of 2 black notes is the C note. So to understand it better, we started saying C, D, E, F, G, A, B. But it is actually in English we say C, D, E, F, G, A, B, right? But it's actually Do, Zoe. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, T. T or C, both are correct. So, Do is the first note. And don't equate Do to C. Hello? Don't equate Do to C. Do is just the first note of the C. Like, let's take C major for example. We actually play Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. If you take D major, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Like how in Hindustani and classical music we say Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, Ni. It has got nothing to do with the notes, but it has got to do with the scale which we are playing. If you take C as a tonic, what's a tonic by the way? It's not the thing that we drink when we are sick. Tonic, what's tonic here? No idea? Joel, what's tonic? Tonic? No idea. Tonic is the first note of the scale. Let's say, instead of saying note, let's say degree. Degree, the first degree of the scale. Anybody knows the degrees of the scale, the names of the degrees of the scale? Because why are we discussing about the scales right now? Because scales are the basis of music. Basis, not the basic, basis. It's on the scale where all the music is created. Even if you take jazz, even if you take blues, you have something called 12-tone technique where music is not centered around one note, but it is centered around all 12 notes. You know like 12 notes? We have actually 12 notes, not just 7 notes, including the sharps and flats. We have 12 notes. So all this put together, we call chromatic. We call chromatic, C-H-R-O-M-A-T-I-C, chromatic. Right. So this, my dear friend Anush will be able to tell me really easily what 2 notes have no gap between them. Like C has a black note in between, that can be called C sharp or D flat. You know this, right? Can you know this?
Yeah, electricity board.
Oh yeah. EV bill.
We won't pay it sharply.
Yeah, and EV, electricity board is not actually sharp here in this country. So
Electricity
E and D. So these 2 notes don't have a note in between. Now let's look. See, we are not talking about piano. We are not talking about guitar right now. We are talking about music. Okay? Let's get this very clear. Piano, guitar, trumpet, saxophone, violin, whatever instrument, these are just instruments. You actually don't need an instrument.
That's actually not a music, it's an instrument.
It's just an instrument how you express your musical ideas. Now, there is this amazing composer living in this country right now as we speak. You know Ilayaraja?
Yes, sir.
Ilayaraja?
Yes, sir.
You don't know? Okay, he's a very Beatles kind of guy, I guess. Ilayaraja is an Indian composer.
Yes, sir.
He scores for films. But he's a composer. You guys know he strums the harmonium and all that.
Yes, sir.
But there is one amazing thing about this composer is that he never touches the instrument when he writes the score. The score is created in his head and it is written down on the table without touching a note. Without touching a note on any of the instruments, he writes the score. Because the entire thing runs his head. He just puts it on the table. So that makes your mind is the best instrument ever. The mind is the best instrument ever. All that we are playing on the piano and the guitar is just expressing our ideas that is running in your head. So you have to be very clear about the things that are, the tools that are helpful to create music, so you can create feeling with the instrument. If you're stuck with an instrument, because see, every instrument has its own plus and minus. Like let's say guitar, for example. We have lots of guitarists here. We have lots of pianists also. But we will talk about guitar. Guitar has only 3.5 octaves, man. Only 3.5 octaves, which means you can't play an octave below. This is the maximum you can play down. Oh, actually this. This is the maximum you can play high, which means you are just restricted. You can't even play 4 octaves. You can only play 3.5 octaves. 3.5 octaves in guitar. But the good thing about guitar is you have lots of glides you can do. All these things you can't do it with the piano. When it comes to a piano, yes, that is why piano is a very good composing instrument, because you have all the ranges. Like you take, okay, you know the family of instruments, right, in an orchestra. Zoe, any idea? Percussion, come on, woodwinds. Woodwinds. What does woodwind mean? The word woodwind. Instruments that are made up of wood and you blow air into it and it produces music. So example for woodwind instruments are flute, very good. Any other? Woodwind. Harmonica is not actually a woodwind. Woodwind. Flute, Abram. Clarinet, Abram.
Saxophone.
Saxophone is actually a woodwind.
Because it contains the lead.
Trumpet is a brass. So yeah. So all these instruments, see, this is why piano is a very good composing instrument, because you have all the 7 octaves. So you can cover all the ranges of all the instruments of the orchestra. So if you know the piano very well, you know how a particular frequency sounds. Like if you're writing for a bassoon is a bass instrument, bass. So you kind of know what that frequency is, you kind of know how that frequency responds with the mid frequencies and higher frequencies. So that is why pianists are at some advantage. Guitarists, we are at a different advantage altogether. You can just pick up the guitar, you can just take it anywhere out, strum, make a song. You have lots of songwriters. You see a lot of songwriters in pop world, they use the guitar. Huh? Lots of people, lots of pop artists, popular artists. They're guitarists, to start with. Why? Because guitar is such an instrument where you can just strum a few chords. It's a very powerful instrument, and it's such an easy instrument to create pretty songs. That's a nice instrument. Yeah. So coming back to do re mi fa sol la. In Tamil we say, in Hindustani and Carnatic music we say sa re ga ma, right? It has got nothing to do with C, D, E, F. It has got everything to do with the scale. So scale again is the basis of music. Scale is actually the bed on which you create music. Okay? Now let's talk about, now that we discussed about Now that we discussed about the scale, which is the basis of everything, before before we dive deep into it, Anush was saying E and B does not have. Yeah, I mean it's not exactly right to say E and B does not have sharp. Look, the other notes have a note in between. Now everybody can visualize a keyboard from there, right? Pianist, Leah, you don't have to visualize. Yeah. So C and D has a black note in between. Shruti, we discussed about this long time ago, like 2 or 3 classes before we discussed about this. But let this be a revision for you, okay? So C and D has a black note in between. Now, you can see from here, right? D and E has a black note in between. But look at E and F. These are 2 white notes next to each other.
It's not actually black.
Yes. Clear? Are you understanding this? E and F does not have a black note in between. After E, it goes straight to F. And similarly, all the other notes have black notes in between, but B and C does not have a black note in between. Correct?
If there was black, you're telling us black is sharp.
Yeah, a black note can work as a sharp and flat. That is what I am going to discuss right now. So this concept is called what, Shruti? Same note with 2 different names. Rosie. Any idea? No, man, basic. Nothing big enough. Zoe, you know this. Same note with 2 different names. What's that concept called? Cry, baby, cry. Liam, dulu sih iklan itu pada dulu. Any idea? M harmonic equivalent. Shruti, come on, you know this. You don't remember. N harmonic equivalent. Okay, what's the spelling of equivalent, guys? This is why I should have become a doctor. I ended up becoming a musician. Anyway. So, N harmonic equivalent is what? You have one note having 2 different names. Like we talked about this black note E, right? So, there is this black note between C and D note. Right? What's that black note called?
Sharp black.
What sharp and what sharp? Good, very good. C sharp or B flat. See, this same note. This is a C sharp note, right? This C sharp note acts as a C sharp in the A major scale and acts as a D flat in the D flat major scale. So it's the same note, but we call it differently.
It can be also called as C sharp one, and the second is
D flat, yes. C sharp or D flat. That's an harmonic equivalent for you. What is now? Let's quickly ask questions. Now, remember you don't have black note between E and F and B and C. So, Zoe, what is E sharp? F. Natural. That's the word I was looking for. Natural. All these notes are natural notes. We are just saying C note, D note, E note, F note, G note, D note, B note, right? But all these notes are what notes? Natural. We just comfortably, avoid saying that word natural, but it is actually critical that you start saying C natural, D natural, because it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. What does C flat? What's C flat equal to? C flat. Think and answer.
C flat.
Solomon.
B sir.
There's no flat, no. There's no black note between B and C. You just told me. So C flat is nothing but B natural. She's silently sitting there and observing everything correctly. Good, Leah. Okay. So N harmonic equivalent is this, and this is very important when we frame a scale. Okay, when we frame a scale, this is very important because, like I was saying, all the melodies that we are creating, all the melodies that are out there, they're all based on scales. All the harmonies are based on scales. And all the melodies and harmonies are based on intervals. Based on intervals. There is something called melodic interval and harmonic interval. Melodic interval is when you have 2 notes in a melody, you're going from one note to the other. Right? So you're making an interval, isn't it? Either you are staying there on the same note or you are leaping forward or leaping backwards. In any way, we are moving through intervals only. And even if you are harmonizing, you know what harmonizing is, right? You are arranging for a melody. Harmonizing also involves intervals. Now, let's get back to. Now, we want to discuss about degrees of a scale. Degrees of a scale. So, yeah, like we talked about, the first note is called a what? Tonic or a do. Tonic or a do. Tonic is the first note of a scale. Tonic is the first note of a scale. If it's a C major scale, what's the tonic? C major scale, the tonic what is it? C natural. C natural is the tonic of C major scales. What's the tonic of a D minor scale? Joel, come on. Tonic is the first note. D note, correct. D natural is the tonic of the D minor scale. What's the tonic of an E major scale? E natural. Simple. First note of any scale is called a do. And the other name for do is called a tonic. Second degree is called a supertonic. Okay. The third degree. Now this is going to be interesting because after this I will ask each one of you to come out and frame a scale and play it on the piano, and if you are a guitarist, you have to play it on the guitar and show it to me. Okay? Right. Come on. No one is here to judge. Everybody is here to learn. So third note. Third degree I should say. First degree is called tonic or do. Second degree is called supertonic. Third degree is called a median. Median, yes. Median. Third degree is called a median. And this is common for all major scale, minor scale. You know, major scale, minor scale are the two very important scales. And of course, we have pentatonic scales that we are learning. We also have blues scales. And all of other scales also. We have modes and all that. But major and minor scale are the two very important scales. Now, we take most of the pop songs out there from the West. It is based on major scale or minor scale. So this is very important. So next comes subdominant. Subdominant. Subdominant is the fourth degree. Alright? Fifth degree is called a dominant. Fifth degree is called a dominant. Sixth degree is called a submedian. Yes, submedian. Seventh degree is called a leading note. Leading. It's leading. Leading note. And the eighth degree again, that's why I'm writing bracket number 1, because eighth degree is a repeat of tonic, but this time an octave higher. This dominant is called a so. Tonic is a do, dominant is a so. Do, so. So, what are the 7 degrees again?
Tonic, supertonic, median, subdominant, dominant, submedian, leading.
Remember this, okay? Because remember, we will also be discussing about how to apply chords, or if you're listening to a song on a radio or on Spotify. Nobody listens to music on radio these days, I know. So, yeah, when you're listening to a song, it is based on a major scale or a minor scale. If you remember this chart that I'm going to discuss right now, you can easily find the chords. Just like if you take any song, you can easily find the chords. Alright. Right, so these are the degrees of the scale. Clear? Let me erase it because yeah. Somebody is sincerely taking notes and all. I'm very happy about that. degree of a scale called? 7th degree, yeah. 7th degree. Leading, no? Correct. Good. Okay. Right, so now we are going to discuss about major scale. It can also be called as an ionic note. We will discuss about that later because now we are going to start to talk about the notes. We will discuss about the major scale right now. We are going to discuss about major scale. Major scale, okay, all these scales are diatonic scales. All these scales are diatonic scales. Diatonic like that. Like after, if there is one more note, like if you have a C, the next note will not be any variant of the C, it will be D. It can be a D sharp, or it can be a D natural, or it can be a D flat, or whatever. But the C note will not repeat. Yes? But the C note will not repeat. If you have a D note in any variant, D sharp or D natural or D flat, the next note will be some variant of D. That is a diatonic scale. You will not have the same note be repeating. If the same note repeats, then it becomes a chromatic scale. After C, you have a C sharp or a D flat. Yes, Zoe? So, major scale is a diatonic scale that you have to remember. So, let's take C major scale, for example, because it's going to be very easy to understand. I'm going to write all the, like I said, we are discussing diatonic scales, right? We're discussing about the diatonic scale. So, after C, it has to go to D. It can be some sort of D, D natural, D flat, or D sharp, whatever. But it will go to D, right? After D, it will go to E. It has to go to D. It can be whatever.
But in its
Yeah. After F, G, A, B, C again, but not octave higher. Now I'm going to mark the degrees. Now remember this very carefully. In a major scale, 3 and 4 should move a semitone. 7 and 8 should move a semitone. The rest should move tone. Now, does anybody have a question what a semitone and a tone is? Everybody will have that question. Now I'll tell you what a semitone and a tone is. Zoe, you know what semitone is? Which you can explain.
So, suddenly, the chord is when.
Listen to this. Take one second.
So, tone is when the whole note shifts by a whole tone, like from C to D. Whereas semitone it only shifts half a note, which is C to D sharp. Or sorry, D flat.
That is why a semitone is called a half step and tone is called a whole step.
Full step.
Whole step, accurate. So, C to D. See, when I talk about half step, C to D is not a half step should be. C to C sharp is a half step. C to D is a full step. But E is the same thing. Like first string open in a note. E. First string. Yes, it's not E sharp because there is no note between E and F. So, this concept we apply. This concept trumpet was apply. Any instrument for that matter, this is not going to change. It's the same thing which we are applying in different instruments. That's why at the start of the session itself I told these are just instruments. Mind is the best instrument you can use. So you should know music. If you just know the instrument, you will be restricted. Your musicianship restricted. Okay, now half step and whole step we discuss going on. Yeah. Right. A major scale. In a major scale, median to subdominant will be a semitone, leading note to a tonic will be a semitone, the rest will be tones. Right? Now let's apply that formula here. Is C to D a tone or a semitone? So let's leave it. We are not going to change anything. D to E is a tone or a semitone? Tone. Chuma pulse or a loose pulse. No, tone. Yeah. There is a flat note in between E and E. So it has moved the whole step right here. E to F is a semi. Why?
Because the E doesn't have.
Yeah. E doesn't have sharp. It's over the top. E does have a sharp. But that E sharp is F natural. E doesn't have sharp. Mind you use that term.
So concept of E sharp exists but as F sharp.
E sharp very much exists, man. That is chumma to understand. In an F sharp harmonic minor scale, we play E sharp as F sharp. Correct. So E sharp does exist. E sharp does exist. In a C sharp harmonic minor, C sharp harmonic minor scale you play, right? You do have B sharp note. Yes or no?
Right.
C sharp harmonic minor scale, you do have B sharp note, but you actually play C natural. So the concept of E sharp and B sharp does exist. Okay, it's not that we don't have sharp. Okay, so E to F is a semitone, F to G is a tone, so we are leaving it. G to A is a tone, so we are leaving it. A to B is a tone, we are leaving it. 7 to 8. B to C is a semitone, so we are leaving it. So C major scale is just as it is, all natural notes. You don't have to change anything. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. There you go, you have this C major scale. So what's that one thing you have to remember to sing any major scale? Any major scale for that matter, just one thing you have to remember. 3 to 4 is a semitone, 7 to 8 is a semitone, rest are all tones. So degrees of the scale. Median to subdominant is a semitone, leading note to tonic is a semitone, rest are all tones. Now, let's crack this up a little bit. Let's make it a little tougher. Right? I'm going to take F sharp note as tonic. I'm going to take F sharp note as tonic. And all these major scales are diatonic scales. All these major scales are diatonic scales. So, the next note has to be G. It will be a variant of any G, right? It can be a G sharp or a G flat or a G natural, leave that aside. But it is going to be G. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write all the 7 notes one after the other. The tonic can't change. The tonic is F sharp, it can't change, so I've written F sharp. So I'm going to mark the degrees. And what's the rule? Median then subdominant should be a semitone.
And the leading note
to tonic is a semitone. Now, who's going to volunteer and frame the scale? Anybody? Will? I'm going to. All you have to do is check if F sharp to G sharp is a semitone or a tone. F sharp to G is here.
It's a semitone.
What should you do to make it a tone? You can't change the previous note. Always remember when we are framing the scale, you can't change the previous note. You have to always alter the next note.
So it should be G sharp.
It should be G sharp. Very good.
So for G sharp to
G sharp to A is, are you guys following? G sharp to A is just a semitone. What should you do to make it a tone? A sharp. Very good. Put that sharp bigger. Come on. Right. Now, 3 to 4 is a semitone. Now, Leah, do we have to change anything here? Leah, do we have to change anything here? Because your sister said so. Right? A sharp to B is already a semitone. We don't have to change anything. Now, B to C. Now, Leah, you tell me, what do we have to do? Do we have to leave it simply or do we have to change anything here? 3 to 4 is set. It's done. Now we are looking at 4 to 5. We are looking at 4 to 5. Because Because B to C is just a semitone. What we need is a tone. Yeah? Ma'am, can you hear it?
C sharp.
C sharp has to be there. Very good.
Then we should make it to V sharp.
Then, now comes the tricky part. This is why I chose F sharp major. D sharp to E is a semitone. So,
Just make it.
you have to make it in E sharp, but the concept of E sharp does exist.
F natural.
That's nothing but just try to put F natural. Natural dabba. You know the dabba, right? It's just a flat match. It's dabba. So, this is an F sharp major scale. Now, pianist. F sharp major scale. Just play with F sharp. Right hand only. F sharp. Slowly, F sharp, D sharp, A sharp, B, B. So that there we go. We have this F sharp major scale. Now, for guitarists, we are going to mark the positions for the guitar. Where is my guitar? Right. Where is F sharp for the
F sharp.
Where is F sharp on the guitar?
The last two has master.
We'll start from the fourth string, fourth fret. Four, just write 4 down below. Like this. No. So I'm going to write this in the nut position. Fourth string, fourth fret, F sharp, right? Yes. Yes. We haven't gotten to fourth string yet. Shruti, we have gotten to fourth string. So fourth string, third fret, F we know. So F sharp is fourth string, fourth fret. G sharp, where is G sharp?
Third string, first fret.
Very good. Third string, first fret. Third string open is G, Shruti. So third string, first fret is G sharp. Where is A sharp? I will say A, where is A? A is third string, second fret. So where is A sharp?
Third string.
Really, very good. B.
Second open.
Zoe, where did you learn guitar?
C sharp is second string.
Second string, first fret is C.
Second
We have C sharp.
Second string,
Two,
second.
two.
Second
E sharp.
string, fourth.
E sharp, E sharp, E
First string,
sharp. 1. F sharp.
1.
1, 2. Ritu, pick up the guitar. Play the scale. Fourth finger. F sharp, 4, 4, 3, 1, 3, 3, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. Backwards. There you go, you got F sharp major scale. So you can claim any scale, knowing any major scale, knowing just this simple formula. 3 and 4, semitone. 7 and 8, semitone. Even people who have no idea about music can go home, compose music after this session. That's my idea. Really? So now that, okay, we discussed about the sharp scales, right? We'll discuss one flat scale, so it will be completely covered. Then we will move on to chords, arrangements. The tonic is going to be B flat. Now, who's going to help me? Anybody? Please. So this is diatonic scale, Manush. So So it has to go to the next note. Just write all the notes one after the other, then we will arrange it. D flat is not it. So next note has to be, we'll have a gap to it because we will have to write a lot of flats and all that. The next note has to be E. It can, no, E, just write E. Right. Next note has, just write one after the other, fill it up. F, G, in a gap. Because we will have to write a lot of F, right, G, A, D, C, and D flat again. Because D, you can change the tonic, right? Yes. Mark the degrees where you degrees mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, bracket 1. 8 plus bracket 1. That's the beginning of the. So, 3, 4, semicolon, 7, 8, semicolon. Done. Who's going to help with the scale? Here? In the scale of us.
Adults are here. Only you are asking kids.
Okay, Zoe is.
No, not Zoe.
Okay. Come on, man.
Just try it. Oh, okay.
Anush, take a seat. Thank you. Thank you for helping. So, 1 to 2 has to move a tone. D flat to E. D flat to E. What's that? It's more than a tone. D flat to Joel, I understand this. D flat to E has moved. What is it? Just keep it down. Listen. Because you can also answer. D flat to E is more than a tone, isn't it? So what, like I said, you can't change this note, you can only add the next note. So what would you do to make it a tone?
You should give it a flat, E flat.
E flat. Correct. Yeah, D flat is this tone. We need just a tone, but it has gotten more than a tone. So if you have to make it a tone, you just have to bring that E to E flat. So you will do a tone. E flat. E. So E flat to E, now it has gone a tone. Now E flat to F, is that a tone or a semicolon? Think. Because you don't have a note in between E and F. So E flat to F is already a tone. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Liam? Man? E to E flat to F is already a tone because you don't have note in between E and F. Okay, F to G. F to G is a? It's a tone. So what should you do to make it a semicolon? Because see, 3 to 4 has to only a semicolon, but it has moved a tone. What would you do? G flat. You can't change F, so G flat is what we have to do here. So now, G flat to A should go a tone. G flat to A is a more than a tone. So what would you do to make it a tone? A flat. A flat to B is more than a tone. So what would you do to make it a tone? B flat. B flat to C is already a tone. You don't have to do anything. C to D flat is again semicolon. So you have to do nothing here. So now you have this D flat major scale here. We will also mark the position in the guitar. We will also play the scale. So D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, mark the position of the scale on the guitar. So what was the guitar position? Thank you. So D flat. Shruti, where is D flat?
Second fret, first. So second string, first fret, fourth. Second string, two.
Second string, third fret is D, Joel. We need a D flat.
Sir, two.
Flat. Here I am. Let's give others a chance also. பக்கத்துல மட்டும் second string, third fret is D, natural, but we need a D flat. D. It will be basic hal and constant problem. Second string, third fret is D. Correct சொல்லிட்டேன். நம்ம D flat வேணும். Flat का ஒரு step முன்னாடி. Second string,
Second fret.
Two. Second string, second fret is C sharp or அடுத்தது E flat. Where is E flat? Where is E? Guitar is not. First string E open இருக்கு. நம்ம E flat வேணும். அப்போ நீங்க n harmonic equivalent யோசிச்சிருங்க. E flat ஓட n harmonic equivalent என்ன?
D sharp.
Where is D sharp? அப்படி யோசிக்க புரியுதா? E flat நம்ம first string open E. We need an E flat. E flat எப்படி யோசிக்க முடியும்? Think in terms of D sharp. Where is D sharp?
Oh, you are two fourth fret. Second fret.
இல்ல ஒரு pianist guitar accent கொடுத்துருக்கா. Come on guys. 2 4 is D sharp, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
E flat தான் D sharp.
Oh.
அடுத்து F C D first நீங்க மட்டும் யாரும் தப்பா சொல்லாதீங்க. அவங்க அப்படியே உட்கார்ந்து G flat.
Third string, first string.
இல்ல இது மேல போடு.
Third string, first string.
Third string மேல போடு. From zero to on scale la
First string, third.
First string, third G natural. We need a G
First
flat.
string, second fret.
Correct. First string, second fret. Clear? Kind of understand that. அடுத்தது A flat. Where is A flat?
Third string.
First string, fourth fret. Correct. First string, fourth fret. First string, fourth fret is a very nice chart. நம்ம அது வரைக்கும் தான் பார்த்துக்கோம். நம்ம இதுக்கு பார்த்ததில்லை. அதனால நம்ம அந்த மார்க் பண்ணணும். அதுவும் மார்க் பண்ணணும். நான் எல்லாத்தையும் மார்க் பண்ணிடுறேன். 1 4 இது அப்படியே மார்க் பண்ணணும். அது மார்க் பண்ணணும். இதை புரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். So where is B flat? First string, sixth fret is B flat. Fret is first string, fret. இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம பார்த்ததில்லை. So we are going to அப்படியே write this an octave down. We are going to write this an octave down. So we are going to write this an octave down. D flat is nothing but C sharp. So I'm going to write this in fifth string, fourth fret. That's you must say something. Very good. Fifth string, fourth fret. In the position problem. Fifth string, fourth fret is D sharp, D flat. Where is D flat? Fourth string.
Fourth string, first.
Fourth string, first fret. Because fourth string, second fret is what note? E flat better one step down. Fourth string, first fret. What is the next? Fourthly, G flat.
Third string, fourth
Fourth itself is G.
3 1.
4 correct. F sharp is nothing but G flat. That's the A flat.
3 1.
That's the B flat.
3
C.
2 1.
B flat. 2 Shruti Pagas. Shruti Vasu. Shruti the scale correct Vasu. B flat major scale. Finger vachhe Vasu. Thumb major. In the position. have this D flat major scale. So எந்த scale கொடுத்தாலும் ஈஸியா figure out பண்ணலாம் major scale if you just know the semitones எங்க இருக்குன்னு மட்டும். நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் என்ன பண்ணுங்க, நீங்க நான் ஒரு சில டானிக் தரேன், அந்த டானிக்லாம் குடிக்கிறதுக்கு இல்லை, இந்த டானிக் சொல்றேன். டானிக் கொடுங்க, அந்த டானிக் வச்சு எல்லா மேஜர் ஸ்கேல்ஸும் நீங்க ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணி கொடுப்பாங்க. ஓகே, now let's go to chords. இதுக்கப்புறமா சைட் ரீடிங்ல ஒரு கான்செப்ட் வேற இருக்கு, அந்த கான்செப்ட் இன்னும் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா இருக்கும். சைட் ரீடிங், ஆமா சைட் மேல இருக்கும், பாவை பார்த்துட்டு உடனே வாசிக்கிறது தான். 5 minutes break. Okay, we'll take a short 5 minutes break and then we will discuss about chords.
Sir,